conflict or the dispute between the government, some governments in Algeria, in Egypt, and the Islamic movements. Some of them are armed, violent. What do you think about violence as a means to change the government in the Islamic context?
Islam does not promote violence. Islam does not forbid violence. Islam forbids aggression. Islam forbids tyranny. Islam forbids oppression. When a people are oppressed and they have exhausted every legitimate means of the redress of their grievances, then the last resort is violence. Prophet Muhammad didn't lay down when he was not a violent man, but when he saw that if he did not take up the sword, there would be no Islam today, Prophet Muhammad took up the sword, didn't he? That was violent. He killed members of his own family. That was violent, brother. But Allah did not say you're a bad prophet because you killed members of your own family. They were against Islam, and they were for the total elimination of Islam. And he had to fight for Islam. And if you open the Qur'an gives you rules of engagement in war. Violence, but violence in the context of Quranic principles. Now, the government of Egypt, the government in Algeria, the governments of the Arab world, are they ruling in accordance with what they profess? See? You say you're a Muslim, then should not I expect from you Islamic government? Well, yes, but we're in a modern world now. Well, are you saying that God's revelation is passé? Tell us truthfully. If it's passé, then say it. Say it. Say that the Qur'an is no good now. Let's take up a communist manifesto. Let's take socialism. Let's be more pragmatic. Let's, since you're educated most in the West, let's take the Western approach to this. And many of the leaders have been educated in the West, educated by the West, and look down on their Islam. It's good for the masses. It's good for the peasant. It's good for the poor and the ignorant. But is it not good for the rulers? Now you say democracy in Algeria. Was not Algeria involved in a recent election? And what happened when those in authority did not like the results of that election? What did they do? Is that Islamic? Then if there are people in Egypt, which is supposed to be a Muslim country, who wants to see Egypt return to the principles of Islam, then their zeal, evidently they don't feel a redress for their grievances. I went in the Muslim world. I stayed in a hotel. You could go to the bar and get alcohol. I don't know about pork. I believe in some of them, they sold pork. Muslim sisters, prostitutes. This is not Islamic. You say, well, this is a modern world. But we can be modern, but we can be Muslims. So some kind of way, there has to be some rapprochement between government that is bending toward the West and those who see Islam as the salvation of the people. You should have known that days like this were coming, because if Allah says in the Qur'an that Islam is going to rise, where's it going to rise first? It's going to rise first in the hearts of those people who are Muslims and feel that their natural way is being usurped.
But Minister Farrakhan, there are like 4 or 5 factions in each country of them that claim to be the one who know what is the true Islam. Who would be the judge in this case? And in the same time,
well, judgment is all Allah's. But if you look at it, I mean, each one of these people are expressing dissatisfaction. They're expressing a grievance. In my own community, everybody that loves Elijah Muhammad is not with Louis Farrakhan. And everybody that loves Islam is not with Imam Warithuddin. So there are factions, okay? But now, truth is what we got to hold on to. If there are those who criticize me, if I look in their criticism and I find truth, then that's a blessing. I can change. The problem with government is arrogant. You have the army, you have the weapons, you're being given weapons by the West. What do you think the West is selling you weapons for? They're not giving you weapons to attack Israel. They're giving you weapons so you can suppress and oppress your own people with your guns. So, look, that's a problem in the Arab and Islamic world. I'm hoping it can be settled without civil strife and without violence and without acts that are called acts of terror, where innocent people are killed to make a point with recalcitrant governments. I would hope that Islamic governments would look at themselves in the light of the standard of the Qur'an and see where we have deviated and try to come back to the path of God. And the closer we get to the path of God, the less and less friction there will be among the masses who want God's way.
Are you to a peace process now between the Arabs and the Israelis?
The Qur'an says that even if we are locked in mortal combat and you say peace, I am to stop. And I am to pursue peace until you return to the climate of war. If the Israelis and the Arabs want peace and they say peace, stop. Let's see if it's genuine. But if it's just peace on the terms of Israel, or peace on this one's terms, but not peace based in justice for all, then it's not a lasting peace. It will break out again into war. All human beings who are sincere hope for peace, but not peace on anybody's terms, but peace based on the principle of justice. Then you have true peace.
The one you see now, is it genuine from your point of view between the Palestinians, the PLO, Yasser Arafat, Jerusalem?
When I visited the camps